ArchiCAD 25 is the latest version released by Graphisoft. As at the time of making this video, it is a premier BIM, that is building information modeling software, that allows you to create intelligent building models with construction information linked to it. If you are looking into understanding 2D modeling in ArchiCAD, this class is for you. Hello and welcome to my Skillshare class. My name is Zangi Muimi and this is ArchiCAD 25 Basics digital course. This class targets the following categories of people. Number one is architecture, engineering and construction students with basic to no ArchiCAD skills and want to learn the process of developing a floor plan in ArchiCAD. And number two is beginner ArchiCAD users who are proficient in other CAD software and want to master ArchiCAD 2D drafting, modeling and documenting skills. The class is broken down into step-by-step tutorials taught in a slow pace, making it easy to follow along as you work on a real project. By the end of this class, you should be able to do the following. Number one is create an ArchiCAD project. Number two is develop a comprehensive architectural floor plan. Number three is dimension a floor plan. And finally, number four, save your drawing to a PDF document. So if you're interested in getting hands-on practical ArchiCAD skills, enroll to this course and let's meet in the next video. Cheers. This is a practice-based class that involves the development of an architectural floor plan for a section of a 3-bedroom apartment block. You'll have a reference pack in the resources section and step-by-step tutorials that will help you work alongside the instructor to create the plan. Your class project will be to develop a simple architectural floor plan for a 3-bedroom apartment block. You will do so using ArchiCAD 25 software to demonstrate that you have learned the skills taught in this class. Right from the very first lesson, you will create a new project and follow along with the instructor as you build and add more details to your project. At the end, you'll have created a comprehensive architectural floor plan. As you follow along with the instructor, make sure to take screenshots of the ArchiCAD screen to share your work progress with other students in the class. When you are done creating the plan, save it as an image file, that is PNG, JPEG or JPG file formats. Then go to your project section and create a new project and upload those files there. In case you need any help, use the discussion tab to post your questions there. You'll get a response from me or other students enrolled in the class. In this lesson, we are discussing how to create a new project in ArchiCAD 25. So I have my ArchiCAD 25 open. On the screen, you can see the ArchiCAD 25 start screen, which is basically a collection of the various buttons that we have here. And the first one at the top left here is new, which indicates options for creating a new project. The next one after that is the browse option for browsing an existing solo project, and the third one here, which is teamwork, for opening a teamwork project. At the center of the screen, we have thumbnails for the most recent projects that we had opened using ArchiCAD. At the bottom left here, we have a link that says quit ArchiCAD. If we click on this, we are going to quit, or rather we are going to close the program. So let's say you highlight an existing project like this. At the bottom right, you will see this button here written open selected, which gets active. And this is going to allow us to open the project that has been highlighted here. So without further ado, we can begin our project, or rather we can begin our exercise by clicking on new here. And we are going to get this welcome note. Click on it and ArchiCAD is going to start creating a new project for us. So when you do that, you are going to get this dialog. You're going to get this dialog box that has the various options that allows us to customize how we want to create our project. So it's saying create a new project from, and this very first option here gives us options for selecting the template that we want our project to be based on. So if you click on this drop down arrow, we are going to get here with our ArchiCAD. We have ArchiCAD 25 template.tpl. We are also given an option for browsing for any template that we might be having saved in our computer. So below that, we have work environment profile. And under work environment profile, we have the various options that we have. So if you click on the drop down arrow here, you are going to get options for selecting either of these, one of the last used profiles or the default profile. Still with that, you can also be able to select from these 6 pre-made profiles that come with the standard ArchiCAD installation. So for our project, I want us to go with default profile like that and click on new. So it's going to start creating a new project for us. As you can see, ArchiCAD is opening a project. So depending on how fast your computer is, ArchiCAD is going to take some time to generate a new project for you. And when that is done, you're going to be greeted by this screen that displays a blank white space at the center, which is going to be our working space, where we are going to populate that space with the various design elements that we will have incorporated for our project. At the top here, we have the various menu options that will help us in terms of project creation. At the right side, we have the project browser and the project map and the various navigation options that we'll be exploring as we create our project. At the left side, or rather on the left side, we have the various design elements displayed there. We have viewpoint options and documenting tools for use to, and the various documenting tools that are given in this list. So now that we have created our new project, I want us to proceed to saving this project so that as we make the various changes that we will be making, we'll be saving this to a specific project file. So I want us to go to File here, then under File, let's choose Save As option. And Save As option is going to open this dialog, which helps us locate the specific folder in the File Explorer where we are going to save this project. So I'll click on this drop-down arrow, and I'll be able to select the folder that I want to, where I want my project to be saved. So under File Name, I'll choose to call this 3-bedroom apartment. That is the project name. So under Save As Type, if you click on this drop down, you're going to get the various project, or rather file types, the various file types that are supported by ArchiCAD 25. So ours is an ArchiCAD solo project. So we'll click on ArchiCAD solo project, which is going to save this file with a .pln extension. So we have options here, and under options, let's have this button for compress file checked. Click on OK, then click Save, and let's it. ArchiCAD is telling me 3-bedroom apartment.pln already exists. So do you want to replace it? I'll say no, and then I'll rename this file to that Skillshare, and then click Save, and our project now is going to be saved. With the Storey settings and the settings for the working units and dimensioning units in place, now we'll proceed to project location settings and putting in place the site details and the client details. So that is accessible under options. So we'll go to options here. Then under options, we have project preferences, and under project preferences, we have this option which says location settings. So you'll click on that, and it's going to open this dialog box. So it's going to open this dialog box which contains 3 three settings that need to be customized. So the very first one is our project location. The second set of settings is under survey point, and the third set of settings is under project north. So let's begin with project location settings here. We have the project name, which is supposed to be displayed here. So to be able to edit that, we have this edit button. So click on it, and when you click on that, we have this pop-up that shows here with the various project info that we need to put in place. So under project details, you have the project name. So all you need to do is click on these three dots here. Click on it. That will open and allow you to type the project name. So our project name will have proposed 3-bedroom residential apartment, like that. Then click on OK. So when you do that, the project name is now going to be shown there. So you have things like project description, project ID, project code, project number, project status, the keywords, notes, and any other custom information that you want to include about the project. So let's move down to site details. Site details is going to ask for the site name. So we'll click on these three dots there to be able to type in the site name. Then you have the site description, site ID, site's full address. You have site gross perimeter, gross area, and other custom information that you might want to include about the site. In terms of building details, options for putting in place the building name, options for putting a building description, the building ID, and any other custom information that you want to include about the building. You have contact details, which give details for the company that is working on the project. And in terms of the contact full name, you can be able to click on this, and you have options for typing your name. So in terms of the prefix, I'll write here MR, that's type my given name and the middle name, and then the family name. So name order, you have family name appearing first or given name appearing first. So you have those two options that you can choose. So I'll choose given name first, click on OK, and that name is going to show under contact full name. So you have contact ID, contact role. What is your role in this project? Let's say you are maybe the architect, or your role in this is BIM manager role, whatever the role that you have. So make sure you type it here in the description, click on OK, and it's going to be showing here under contact role. So you have the contact department, the same thing as what we had done to the contact role. So you click on that and type the name of the department there. You can be able also to indicate the full name for the CAD technician, the name of the contact company, which in this case I am going to include my company name, like that. Click on OK. What is the contact company code here? Contact full address. So the full address is in terms of postal. You have here physical address. Let's say you specify the office. Postal address, I have that as my postal address. This is my city, Nairobi. So I'll type Nairobi there. What is the zip code? Is 001, and my country is Kenya. So with those details in place, I click on OK, and they're going to show here under contact full address. We have also the contact email. You'll have the same thing. Type the email, click on OK, and that will be put in place. Contact phone number, contact fax, contact web, and any other custom information that you want to include there. In terms of client details, we have options for putting in place the client's full name. So you'll click on this click on this button. Then you will have options for putting in place the name of the client as that, the client's the client's company, full address, their email, their phone number, fax, and any other custom information that you might want to include. After typing in all that project information, you'll click on OK, and you will have the information saved in your project. So we'll go to site full address. So click on edit here, and you are able to specify, let's say the site is along Mombasa Road, whereas Mombasa Road is in Kenya, in a city called Nairobi. Then let's say this is the postal box and this is the zip code. So click OK. So when you finish typing that and saving it, it will start appearing here under site full address. So below site full address, we have the latitude, the longitude, the time zone, and the altitude above sea level for our project. That is based on the location of the site. So this is going to be defined, the latitude and the longitude are going to be defined by the location of the project. So in terms of that, instead of typing it manually, I'll click on this globe icon here, which will give me a list of the various cities that have been predefined. So my project is in Nairobi City. I'll look for Nairobi in that list. Then when I get to Nairobi, click on that to select it and then click on OK. And you're able to see that the latitude and the longitude has changed. It has been affected as that. Time zone should be the same as changed to Nairobi. So altitude, height above sea level, I am not sure about that, but I can be able to check for that information in Google Maps using this option here, which says show in Google Maps. So we have survey point and project north. So I'll not do anything to survey point. I don't have any surveying or land survey information to put in place. In terms of project north, this allows you to define the sun path, which is going to affect how your building is going to cast shadows to the ground. So you'll be able to select, or rather to change the sun path by defining the project north using this icon here like that. Then if you click on OK, all those settings that we have put in place have now been implemented, or rather they've been saved in the project. So to make sure that everything has been saved, as usual, we go to File. So we go to File, and then we have this Save option. So click on that, and your project is going to be saved. Now that we have created and saved our new ArchiCAD project, the next thing would be to start doing some settings as we prepare to. The next thing would be to start doing some settings as we prepare to put more details to our project. So in this video, we look at Storey settings and how to set working units and dimensioning units. So let's go to the project map and have the ground floor activated. Then at the bottom right, we have these settings here below the properties. We have settings. Click on these settings, which is going to open the Storey settings. Here we are able to either insert new stories or delete existing stories. And we are also able to change the various dimensions, such as height to the next story, which as at now is set as 3 meters from ground floor to the next story, which is the first floor. So I'm going to give these stories specific names, like I'll have the first one here. The first is ground floor. So the next is going to be my first floor, and the third there is going to be my second floor. So when you are done, you have below the stories, you have these options for either inserting a new story above. So if you click on this, see we have inserted a new story above story number 2. So if you click on insert below, you'll have inserted a new story below this one that had been earlier selected. So let's say you want to delete an existing story. What are we going to do? We'll just click to select, then choose this option, delete story, like that. Select that, delete, like that. And then we'll click on OK to make sure that those settings have now been saved to the project. After doing the story settings, I want us to go to view. Then under view, we'll activate the construction grid display so that our workspace is going to look like that with the various grids. Then from there, we look at customizing the working units and the dimensioning units, which is accessible under options. Then we go to project preferences, and the very first option here will be our working unit. So if you click on that, you'll have that dialog box opening, and I want us to set the various units for the length, the area, the volumes, angles, and the layout units. So under length, we'll have units measured in terms of millimeters to 0 decimal places. In terms of areas, we'll have areas measured in square meters to 2 decimal places. And then the volume is going to be measured in cubic meters to 2 decimal places. And angles will be given in decimal degrees. You have options for either degrees, minutes, or seconds. You can give you can measure angles in terms of radians, or maybe the specific surveyor's unit that is going to be provided by your surveyor. So in terms of this project, I will have the angle units measured in decimal degrees to 0 decimal places, and the layout unit as millimeters to 0 decimal places. Then when I'm done with that, I'll click on OK to make sure that those settings have been saved. Then still under options, project preferences, I will click on dimensions so that I can be able to set my preferred dimensioning units for the project. So here under dimensions, we have currently this set as meters to 3 decimal places with the extra accuracy disabled. So we want to select here this option for plain millimeter, which is going to change the linear dimension units to millimeters to 0 decimal places. And that is what we want to have for the project. So when that is done, just click on OK here, and we'll have the setting implemented. So let's go to documenting tools, and select this dimension so that we can be able to set, so that we can be able to customize, so that we can make some customizations here. So I'll click on the settings dialog for the dimensioning tool, and this is going to open the dimension default settings. So under default settings for the dimensions, we have options for the dimension type, which is, in this case, we are having a linear method selected, and we have this as the marker type. We have the various types that we can choose from. So these are the types that are available. So you are free to check on any of these. And then under witness line, I will have the line selected as custom height for the witness line. For the pens here, this I'm going to set to 48, and then this for the pen sets for the witness line, I'm going to set that to pen 88. So when you are done with dimension type, you can close that. Then move to text style. I want to have the font type as DM Sans selected, and the pen type will be pen 46 for the dimensions text, and the font size will be 2 millimeters. So that's set as that. Under marker and witness line options, we have options for changing, or rather for customizing, the size of the marker and the size of the witness line, which is indicated here as custom witness line length, set as 3 millimeters. So we have pointer options, which is basically options for the line type, the pen sets, and the type, the arrow heads, and the pen sets for the arrowhead. So we have dimension details, which allows you to either display the height of the openings in your floor plan dimensions, and options for dimensioning the various faces of the walls and the slabs. So with that, the very last options here are for the properties, which we'll leave it as default here under renovation. So for the properties settings, we'll have the default ArchiCAD settings for that. So when you are done with dimension default selection settings, so we'll click on OK, and those settings will be saved for our project. So for us to make sure that the settings that we have put in place have been saved in the project, we'll go to File and Save the project. We go to File. So under File, we have this option, Save. So click on Save, and the settings are going to be saved in the project. After having the project location settings, the client details and the site details in place, we are now ready to start drafting the floor plan for our house. So we'll start with the construction grid, or rather the structural grid. And the grid is a documenting tool that is accessible under documenting tools. So here we have the grid element. So click on it to select it. When the grid element tool is selected, we'll go to the settings dialog for the grid element tool, which is going to display the default settings, and we'll be able to customize how these grids appear on floor plan, on section or elevation views, the naming rules that will be followed when we start putting those grids in place, the size, shape, and the shape of the markers, the text style, and the 3D view settings. So we'll start with first the floor plan view, which I'll have the solid line here changed to dashed long, and I'll have the grid showing on all stories. But for the pen sets, I want to change this from pen number 4 to pen number 104, like that. We'll have these buttons checked for displaying the marker at the start of the grid element and at the end of the grid element. So that is it for floor plan. We'll go to section. We have the same settings, or rather the same customizations for the section and elevation as we had for the floor plan. So we'll change this line to dashed long as earlier, and then the pen set to pen number 104, like that. For the naming rules, I want these names to be generated automatically. So if we start with A, we'll have this as the naming style, A, B, C, D, E, F as that. So if we have 1 here, we'll change this naming style to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as that. So this is mine. Right now, that is the style, the naming style that we have for the naming rules. So that's it. For the markers, we have options for changing the size of the marker. So right now, the circle has a radius of 10 millimeters. So I want to change that to 6.5 millimeters. Marker pen is pen number 7. The text pen is pen number 1. I am okay with that. And the marker shape as circle. You have this arrow here, which if you click on it is going to give you the various shapes that you can adopt for the marker. So we have a circle, we have a square, we have a pentagon, we have an hexagon. That's done. Background fill is off. Click on text style, and here you are able to change the font type, which I am going to adopt DM Sans for my project. The text pen is going to be pen number 1 as set, and then the font size is going to be 2.4 millimeters. That's for me. the settings. So let's go to 3D view options. Under 3D view, you have options for displaying this construction grid in the 3D window. So if you want that to be displayed, you'll have this button checked like that, and the various grid line settings for either the mark text and how you want the grid line to show. So for me, I don't want to display the grids in the 3D window. So I'll uncheck this and proceed to clicking on OK. And the settings for the customizations for the grid element tool will be saved in the project. So Control S is going to save the project as at now. Then we'll begin now putting the various, or rather the grids in place. So I'll click here like that, pull the mouse towards the direction where I want this grid line to extend to, and then when I'm satisfied that the grid line has taken the length that I want, I'll click on that to specify the end, then drag it to position here. So I want to have, similar to this, I want to have 8 more grid lines in place. So what I'm going to do is, while this is selected, so shift and then click on it to select it, right click and under move, you have this option, dragging multiple copies. So what I will do is click on drag multiple copies, and you'll see my cursor there displayed as an arrow with 2 plus signs. So if I click on this grid line, I'll be able to move as many copies as I want towards any direction that I specify. So I want to have 7 more copies of these vertical grid lines. So I'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then when I'm done, click on escape, and they will be placed there. So that's for the vertical grids. Let's look at the horizontal grid lines. So I'll do the same thing as I had done with the vertical ones. I'll specify the start by clicking on one point like that, then moving the mouse and the cursor towards the direction where I want this grid line to extend to, and when I'm satisfied that it has reached the exact length that I want for the grid line, so I'll click to specify the end point, and that will have placed my very first grid line. So I'll select this, right click, move, and then choose to drag multiple copies, and I want 8 more copies of this horizontal grid. So the same with what I did with the vertical ones. So I'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and the last one here, 8. Click on escape like that. Then you will have the horizontal and the vertical and the horizontal grids in place. But if you look at, let's say, an example as with the vertical ones, all of them are named A. But I want them to have different names so that I can use them to make reference to the various locations in the floor plan. So what I'll do is select that, change that to B. I'll be selecting each and changing the name. So that's D, that's F, that's G, and that's H. The same with the horizontal grids. I'll change their names. So I'll have this as number 1, this as 2. So follow the same procedure and change all the names. So this is 4, 5, and finally the last one here is grid 9. So those are my my horizontal and vertical grid lines. So I want to customize now the spacings, or rather the distance between these grid lines. So I'll go to document. I'll go to document here, and then under documenting tools, I'll choose to have the dimension tool selected and activated. Then I'll pick the various grids and dimension them so that I can be able to know the distance between each. So when I have made sure that I have picked all the lines, I'll double click and then click once to place the dimension line. I'll do the same to the horizontal grids. So pick all the grids, the horizontal ones, like that. Then double click and click once to place them. So I want to set spacing between A and B as 1200. So let's say I select all these grids. Then I will have right click, move, drag. So I'll drag all this by, if this is 1200, the other one is supposed to be 1106. That becomes 12. The next one, the spacing there should be 600. So we have 2396 minus 600, which gives us 1796. So I'll drag this, Control D, I'll drag this by 1796, like that. Then between C and D should be 4000, which means I will have to extend this by some measurements. So we'll have 4000 minus 2510, which gives me 1490. So Control D and move this towards the right by 1490. So that's set in place. D and E spacing between that is 750. So 2701 minus 750 gives me 1951. So means we are going to move these ones by 1951, like that. Spacing between E and F is 1450. So we have 53 minus 1450, giving us 1403. So I'll move these towards E by 1403 units. Spacing between F and G is 2400. So to achieve that means I'll have to move G towards F by 415 units. And then spacing between G and H should be 1600. So that 385 minus 1600, that gives me 1785. So I'm supposed to move H towards G by 1785 units. So those are now the spacing that I'm supposed to have for the project. And that is for the vertical grids. So let's move to the horizontal grids and try and customize that. So I'll select this. So I'll select these various horizontal grids that we have here by holding on the Shift key on the keyboard and then clicking to select. So we start by customizing the spacing between grid 1 and grid 2, which is supposed to be 1200. Right now we have 1591. So 1591 minus 1200 is 391. So we are going to move these towards number 1 by 391 units. So we'll achieve 1200 there. Between 2 and 3, we have 3100. So that 100 minus 1785, that gives us 1315. So we are going to move 3 away from 2 by 1315. So that we have, so we are going to move grid 3 away from 2 by 1312. 12 units, so that we have 3100 there. Between 3 and 4 should be 600. Right now we have 1636, which means we'll move this by 1036. 1036. That gives us 600. 4 and 5 is 2400. So 2400 minus 1750. That gives us 650. So we'll move 5 away from 4 by 650 units. We'll have 24 there. Let's go to spacing between 5 and 6, which is 1400. That means we'll move this by how many units? 1400, that's 540. We have 1400 there. Between 6 and 7 is 1300. So 2352 minus 1300 gives us 1052. So we'll drag 7 towards 6 by 1052. We'll have the spacing there achieved for 1300. And the very last one here is, we have spacing between 5 and 6 as 14, 6 and 7 as 12, 6 and 7 as 12, which means we'll have this move should be 12. So we'll have that moving up by 100, and then 2848 minus 1300, that gives you 1548. So move by 1548, giving us 13, 14, 12, 13, like that. The very last one is 8 and 9, and the spacing there is 1500. So you have 3423 minus 1500, giving us 1923. So Control D, move that up by 1923. So that's what you are supposed to have in your grids. So if you look at them, we need to readjust these sizes. So I want to stretch this up to there. So stretch all these grids so that they get to appear in a good presentation, in a presentable manner, in a presentable way. Stretch them as like that. Click there, stretch up to that. So you have all that stretched. This side, we need to move anything. You can have that left as that. So let's select the vertical ones and readjust. So I'll stretch this up to that point and stretch all these other grid lines to move to the same size, rather the same length. So when I'm done with stretching the grid lines, I'll select those dimension lines and delete them. So I have Control D, move this up a bit. So basically that's the grid lines, or that is the grid system that we were trying to create. Then from there we'll now start putting in place the external and internal walls for the project. With the construction grid in place, we are now ready to start drawing the external and internal walls. And I'll start this by activating the wall tool, which is found under design. So let's go to design here. And under design, we have the various architectural tools, and I'll click on the wall tool to activate it. Then I'll open the wall settings dialog, which will display this dialog that has the wall default settings. And in terms of geometry and positioning, I want this wall structure to be basic wall structure, and that allows me to have customizations for the wall thickness, which I want to specify as 200 millimeters. That is the wall thickness. In terms of top link, this wall I want to set as not linked to any top floor there. Then I will have the settings for the floor plans and the section left as default, including model, structural analytical parameters. Here I will set the structural function of the wall as load bearing, which is going to allow me to perform structural analytics on the building. Then under classification and properties, we have these properties that we need to define. But basically for this basic floor plan, I will not change anything under classification and properties, so I'll just click on OK. We have the wall tool activated and ready to start drawing our walls. So I'll start with grid F. So there's a wall running through grid F from horizontal grid 1 to horizontal grid 9. So I'll zoom to F here and click on this intersection. That is going to be shown as that. For my wall to be at the center, basically, the grids are located at the center of the walls. So I want to change here a reference line location here to be at the center, so that when I draw my wall, the grid is going to be at the center of the wall, like that. So I'll hold the shift button there, or rather the shift key, like that, then draw that wall up to that point. So that is my first wall. That is grid F from number 1 to number 9. Then the next wall is going to be running from grid F here horizontally up to where we have A. We have now the wall running from grid number 1 up to grid number 4. Then from there, the intersection of grid number A4 up to where we have the intersection of E4 here, like that. So from there, we'll put in place this wall that runs along grid B. We have another wall from that is along that's along this grid line 9, the horizontal one. So the wall runs up to that point. Then from there, we have grid 6, that is from 9 to 6 vertically, like that. Moves then up to this point. Then we have a wall here. Note that is grid D. So from D9 point to D7, like that. Then this connects to close that gap. Then from here, which is E, this intersection, the wall runs up to where we have E4, that point. So we have other walls. So from where we have this wall is a distance of I'll move and drag a copy of this. How many units should be? 3600, I hope. So let's confirm with the dimension line. That's 34, so I'll move this 100 up to there. That becomes 36. Let's see what this is. 36. So that's okay. So that is where we have the next wall. So it's forming a room there. So we have those in place. We have another wall running along grid 2. So let's go back to the wall tool. Runs from this intersection to here, and then from that intersection to where we have grid 3. So it should run up to here. Then move inside to intersection of G and 3. Then move like that up to where we have grid 5. Then we'll have a wall between here, like that. That forms a room at that point. From grid intersection of grid 8, where is 8? 8 is here. So that runs up to here. Then this goes that way and then connects at that point. So we have those internal and external walls that we have placed there. Basically, the various walls that we have. So what I want to do is select all the walls by Control A on my keyboard, then go to the settings dialog for the wall. Under geometry and positioning, I'll concentrate on floor plan. I'll concentrate on floor plan and section settings. So here we have cut surfaces. So under cut surfaces, you have this option for override cut fill pens. So right now it's set as none. I want to click on this arrow and set it as both. You set it as both, you have activated now the pen tool for cut fill foreground pen and cut fill background pen. So all these I want to set them as 1 and click OK. You will see that we have now this new arching that has been achieved for our walls. And if I look at it, if I look at the walls that way, I think they look better in terms of presentation. So that's internal and external walls for our project. Let's meet in the next video. In this video, I want us to define the various rooms by allocating them what I'm calling room tags. That is text that is identifying the various, or rather the function that each of the spaces that we have created here will be put into. So we'll have the very first part here, which I'll show you by using this line tool, is defined there like that. So this part is going to form the entry to the building. So we'll do room tags by using simple text tool, which is accessible under documenting tools. So I'll go to documenting tools, and I'll look for the text tool. That is, I'll select it, then click on the settings dialog for the text tool. You have the text default settings opening as that. Under text style, I want to change the font type to DM Sans with 2.4. Let's have 2 millimeters as the font size. That's okay. We have things like text block formatting. I'll have always readable selected as that, model paper size as that. So that's basically all that we want to set for the default settings for the text tool. So click on OK, and then zoom to this point, then double click, then type in caps entry. So this is going to form the entry to our building. We'll have that placed there. So that's our entry. When you enter the building, you'll have this big room here. This space will form our lounge. Then we'll have the lounge combined together with the dining. The external part here will be our veranda. So VER for veranda. The room adjacent to the entrance here will be our kitchen. So kitchen type. From the kitchen, you have this room. There will be the bathroom, which is shared between these 2 bedrooms. So here we'll have bedroom. Let me call this bedroom 1. Then this other room will be my bedroom 02, like that. From there, we have a master bedroom, which will be this space at the bottom here. So we'll have master bedroom as that. Then this room close to the master bedroom is going to be the bathroom. for the master. That's set as start. These are the room tags, which we've just used a text tool to identify the various rooms. With the walls and the room tags in place, now it's time for us to specify. Now it's time for us to start putting in place the architectural fenestrations in terms of windows and doors that we have for our plan. And I will start with the entrance part. So we need to have doors in place, which is accessed under design architectural tools. But before that, I want to put a column here at this point. So I'll go to design. I'll go to design, architectural tools, and activate the column. And I'll click on this to place the column. Keyboard, click to select it, and size, or rather cross section, I'll specify to have the column cross section height and width as 200 millimeters, and click OK. You see my column adjust to fit in position. Then let's get back to column settings again, and section. We have cut surfaces. I'll choose override cut fill pens, both, and the cut fill and the cut fill background pen still as one. This is how it's going to look in terms of 2D present. You click OK, you're going to see the column appear as that. So that's it for the entrance part column. Let's go to design, architectural tools. Select is the door tool. When it's selected, click on the set tool. And here you have options for searching for any of the types of doors that you want to have for your project. But if you look at this folder structure here, you have an embedded library and a linked library which contains subfolders for the various door types that we might need to use for our project. So in terms of this, we also have preview and positioning settings, which has options for customizing the width and the height of the building. Hinged door settings, which allow us to select a custom door leaf, door add-ons, floor plan and section settings, dimension markers, classification properties, and all that. So without changing anything, what I'll do is click on OK, then go ahead and place the various doors that we have in the plan. So we have a door here at the entrance point. So you bring the cursor until this sun icon points to the outside, because this is where we are coming from. So the sun is pointing to, the icon should be pointing to the outside. So like that. And then move your mouse to specify what direction you want the door to open towards. Then click once to place it. So I'll have a door there. I'll have another door here, opening to the outside. Like that. From there, we have a door at the kitchen area here. So at that point, it's opening to the inside like that. We have the bathroom here as a door, opening to the inside like that. we have a door to the master bedroom. So that's put in place. And from the master bedroom, we have a door giving us access to the bathroom, like that. So here we'll have two doors. Then we have access to bedroom 2. From this point, we have that door. Then from this point to bedroom 1, we also have that door. So if you look at it, we have doors in place. That's all that we have. Now we have another door opening to the outside from the kitchen at this point. So that opens towards that, like that. So that's what you should have in your plan. So the next part is putting in place the windows. So we'll go to design, and architectural tools will activate the window tool. You have settings dialog for the window. So window default settings looks pretty much similar to what we had in the door default settings. We're not going to change anything as at this class, this video, but in the next lecture, we are going to explore the various preview and positioning settings, basic window settings, and floor plan and section, dimension markers, and all those for the windows. So I'll just have the window tool the way it is, like that, selected, activated, and then I'll place the various windows that we need to have. So I'll start with the lounge and dining area. We have 2 here, so we have one there and another one here. Towards the veranda, we have one here. From the kitchen, we have one at that point. From this bathroom, we have one also. And then this bedroom has 2, one at that point, and another one towards to that wall. This bathroom has 1. The master bedroom has 2, so 2 here. 1 at that wall, another one in this wall. And this bedroom has 2, so you have 2 here, like that. So that's all the windows and the doors that we have for the project. So as at now, your plan should look like what you are seeing on that screen. But before we go to the next point, I want to make some changes to these walls that we have here. So let me activate the arrow selection tool and select this wall and this wall. Then use this tool called split. So I'll split at that point. Then select this other one. Go to the wall selection settings, under geometry and positioning. I want this height to be 900, like that. So you'll see we have that affected as that. So that's it for this video. In this video, we look at advanced settings and customizations for windows and doors. So this is for us to be able to customize the 3D appearance of these architectural fenestrations. So if you take a look at the 3D window, you're going to see our model in 3D, and this is how the doors and the windows look. So we want to change this appearance, and that is affected by doing some custom settings. I'll go to design and architectural tools, I'll activate the door tool, then Control A on my keyboard to select all doors. Open the settings dialog for the door, and under hinged doors, we have door 25, this as the one that is selected, and we want to make some customizations to this door. So under preview and positioning, the width is 900 millimeters, which is okay, and the height is 2.1 meters, that's 2100 millimeters. Fill to story height as 100 millimeters. Reveal to wall surface set as 0. So that's okay. Under hinged door settings, we have door settings and opening, which gives us access to the various customizations that we can make in terms of nominal sizes and tolerance. Door settings and opening in terms of things like frame and leaf, natural ventilation, door leaf type, opening type and angle, wall opening, fixtures and fittings, and floor plan section appearances. So as at now, I want us to look at the door leaf. So if I click on this where they've indicated no grid, if I click on this arrow like that, that's going to give me all these options, rather these various types of door leaves that I can choose to have for my project. So for our project, let's say we prefer to have style 34 as the door leaf. Opening type is side hang as set, and the frame as a simple rivet. And at handle, here it is indicated as none. I want us to click on that and then set handle number, let's say 10. Let's use handle 6 for the wall, for the doors. Floor plan and section settings in terms of floor plan display, simple and outline and cut surfaces. I want to leave all those settings as they are, and then I'll click on OK. You'll see those changes have been effected. So let's take a look in the 3D and see how the windows or how the doors appear like. So in terms of 3D, you see, that's how now our door looks like. So let's get back to the ground floor. And right now we want to customize the windows. So I'll start with windows in the bedrooms. Let's say master bedroom, this one, that, and these other two. So select them, go to the settings dialog, and window types here. I want to choose triple window with side transoms 25. So this one, I'll click to select it. Then I'll change, let's say you have the window as 2000, height as 1500. Let's change this height to 1300. We are supposed to be having 13. That is the height plus seal to story height should add up to 2100, which means here we have 800 as the seal to story height. And the reveal to core should be, here I'm setting 50 millimeters like that. So with that, let's click on OK. Let's move to the 3D window and take a look at that window that we are customizing. So it's taking the shape that we want it to take. Back to settings dialog for the window. Under window settings and opening, I want the main search to be fixed glass. Side hang mirror top is fixed. Top transom sash 1 is fixed and 2 is fixed glass. That's okay. So that's frame with sash options. Under sash options, click on this and choose HV grid. We have main search with, let's say, vertically 3 like that. Let's say 3 vertically, 2, that's for the main search transom, and the side ones as that. Click on OK. Preview in 3D. So in 3D, that's how the window looks like, which is a better appearance. You can still select it while you are in the 3D window. Open the settings dialog for that, and you can choose to have the window sill in place. Click on this, activate window board, click to have window board in place, selected as that, and have casing to the outside. Then click OK, and you will see the changes getting affected in the 3D window. So that's it for those windows. We'll repeat the same process with windows in these other areas. So like we have for the kitchen, select this, have these ones as fixed glass, put in place a seal, and a window board, check to have the window board, and check for outside casing, and click OK. So that's the window that we have in the kitchen area. Let's customize the last, these two here in the lounge and dining area. Repeat the same. So for that we said fixed glass. Click on that arrow. Search options, HV grid, have that as 3. Then under seal, choose to have a seal. Select that, go to window board, click on window board, then check to have outside casing. And these ones are going to reflect on the plan as that. So you'll repeat the same procedure with that window. So like that, and 2000. So with that, I hope now you understand how to make more advanced customizations to the windows and the doors in ArchiCAD. So let's meet in the next video where I show you how to put in place the various furniture and sanitary appliances for our house. In this video, I'll be showing you how to develop the furniture layout for our plan. That is to put in place the various furniture and sanitary appliances that we'll need for use in the various rooms. So I'll start with the lounge and the dining area, and here we'll need to have table and chairs for the lounge and a table and chairs for the dining room. So that is accessible by going to design. So we'll go to design, architectural tools. Then under architectural tools, I'll activate the object tool by clicking on it. Then click on the settings dialog for the object tool. Here we have a search entry, or this search bar which it tells us ArchiCAD is waiting for a search entry. For the sitting room, I want to look for some furniture layout for that. So let's say furniture, search for furniture. So it's furniture like that. I'll get these chairs, bed layouts, I'll get chair layout. I'll get this dining table rectangle, dining table round. So let's say we use this dining table round for the dining. Well, click to place that there. Get back to settings dialog and continue looking for the sofa, which is this sofa layout 25. Select that and then click to place. On your keyboard, click to select, Control E for rotation. So I'll want to rotate this on that plane by 90 degrees, Control D, and drag it to position like that. So that's where we'll have the chairs. This dining of ours is going to move a bit towards that side. So the dining. So the dining, I want to select the text. Dining is there. So move the text a bit towards that side. So if you look at the plan, we have now tables and chairs for the lounge, tables and chairs, table and chair for the dining room. Let's move to the kitchen area. In the kitchen area, here we want to have a worktop, and I'll designate that by using a line tool. So under the documenting tools, I'll activate the line tool. Change this pen to number 1. Then the width of this worktop is supposed to be 600 millimeters. It's going to extend up to there. I'm going to move this window downwards by, let's say, 100, like that. So this extends up to here. Then we have another one joining. So we trim those lines and trim these lines as well. And we'll have, let's say, shift, move, drag a copy up to there, then draw a line that way. And so that's the layout of the worktop in the kitchen. We have this storage space here. So I'll designate this using a line. So here we have a cupboard at this point. Here we have general worktop. So for that worktop, we are going to have, what do we have? We have a sink. So search for sink. Say we'll have that sink. This is okay, double kitchen sink. Place this where do you place that? Let's say we have sink there. And then for cook pits, search for cook, built-in cook pits, place them here. So we'll be cooking from that point where we have these. Let's position them accurately like that. So we have cook pits there. Move them a bit towards the left side. Then Control E like that. Then rotate this sink that way and place it here. So that's where we have the sink. When you're washing utensils, you are looking to the outside like that. So we are done with the kitchen. Let's move to bedroom number 1. So for bedroom number 1, all we need is a bed. So back to settings dialog for the object tool and search for bed. We're going to get, let's say, furniture. I want the bed layout. This one, 25. Okay. So that is going to be part of bedroom 1, bedroom 2, and the master bedroom. So I'll place them there. Select these two. Control M is for mirror. So I'll mirror them towards those areas. So like that. Control D, allowing me to move that bed towards the wall. So select that bed, right click, choose to drag. I'll also drag this to that point. So we have beds for master bedroom and bedroom number 2. And then I'll also have to move this towards that point. Let's say control or right click and I move, choose, rotate. Sorry, right click, move, choose, rotate. Then you rotate it like that. Control D for drag it to position here. So that's our bedroom 1, bedroom 2, bedroom 3. Let's put in place some built-in wardrobes. So I'll designate that with just a wall. So back to the wall tool. Draw a wall here, 600 millimeters, like that. Then I'll draw another wall here, 600 millimeters. So like that. I'll have a wall here towards that side by 600. Then select them. Go to the settings dialog. Choose thickness to 100. That is under geometry and positioning, under floor plan settings. And let's look at cut surfaces. We have override cut fill pens. Set as none. Click on this arrow and set as both. And then change the cut fill foreground pen for that to be pen 1 and the background pen to be 1. Click on OK and you'll see those adjustments appear. on your plan. So I want to choose a line. I want to have from this 1 meter. 1 meter is too much. Let's have 600. So that means I'll drag this wall up to here. And then I'll choose to have a line here to show that is where I have my wardrobe. Just as simple as that, because we are doing 2D drawings. So when that is in place, I can choose to copy this, Control, let's say, right click, move, drag a copy. So drag a copy here. And then right click, select to activate tool, then type here, built in wardrobe. Change the pen to, let's say, 1.4 and drag the text in position. We have a built-in wardrobe for bedroom 2. Let's have the same for this 600. Let's have 600 here. But this one is going to be moved up to that point. Then delete this line. Then we'll have a line from here to here. But I still think that's a small space. We can adjust it. It's too much. That was too much. 300. Yeah, that is okay. So trim that. That's where you're going to have your other wardrobe for the master bedroom. So let's copy this text. Right click, move, drag a copy from here to here. So we have wardrobes in place for those 2 bedrooms. We'll do the same to bedroom 1. So I'll have that line. So this part is where we have our built-in wardrobes. So that's done. Oh, okay, we are done with the furniture or other objects for the 3 bedrooms. Let's look at the bathrooms. So in the bathroom, we'll need the WC. So back to design, architectural tools and object. In the object settings dialog, let's search for WC, toilets. Click on that to select. So place one here, place another one here. And then let's search for shower. Shower, I'll have shower cabin 25 selected, place one here, another one in this bathroom. Go back to the settings dialog for the object tool and search for basin. So I want a washed basin. So basin, we have which one? One basin counter like that, and I want it to have under basin settings, I want it to have number of basins as 1. Okay, put one there and another one here. So now it's time to customize. So we'll have this shower selected, right click, move, and we'll do seat rotation. We'll do, let's mirror and see how it looks. And then we'll do Control M. Mirror again, like that. Then Control D. Place it here. Move the window a bit towards this side. Then select this. Right click. Move. Then we'll have mirror. So mirror there. Then Control D to drag it to position. Then we'll have to move it a bit towards this side. So we have shower and we have WC there. And select that and drag. So right click, choose move, and drag to position. So now we need to rescale it a bit so that it will change up to there. Then put it the wall like that. So for the bathroom, we have that. We have a wash basin, we have a shower, we have a WC. So that bathroom is okay. So we go to the very last part, which is going to be the other bath here. We'll do the same thing. Select this, Control D to drag, then click. Move your mouse to place it there, and then click and reduce the size of this like that. Drag it to location. The same thing with this one. Control E for rotate. Specify the rotation line and rotate it by 90 degrees. Control D for drag, so that you drag it to position it there. Select the shower, right click, move, mirror. So I'll mirror this. I'll do the same, mirror it to like that. Then Control D and place it at that point, so that we have the wash basin, we have the shower, and we have the WC in place. So that's done in terms of furniture layout in the objects tool. So if you look at our plan, now it is more presentable. Let me deactivate the construction grid display so that you can see what we have. You also select these grids, and these ones, they are part of the structural grid layer. So what do? Control L is going to open the layers. Then I'll toggle this eye off to hide it. So with that hidden, it's been implemented really. For that, control that structural grid. Yeah, I think Z. Draw. So I think what we've done in the interior furniture layer. So let's unhide it like that. All we need to do is Control L and look for the grid, structural grid here. Hide it. So I'll get to see our plan as it is now appears like that. So we have furniture in place. So the next video, I'll show you how to dimension the floor plan before we export this to a PDF and an image file for sharing. Congratulations, you have made it to the last video of this class, and that is amazing. It has been more than 10 video lessons with the step-by-step instructions to create your first architectural plan in ArchiCAD. We have come to the end of the class. I just want to remind you that this is not the end of learning. You should endeavor to continue practicing the skills that we have learned in this class, creating more and more projects, as it will help you to perfect those skills. As they say, practice makes perfect. Also, don't forget to share your progress in the project section. If you have any questions or anything that needs clarification, please head over to the discussion tab and post those questions there. You can also email me directly to zangi@quantbuild.co.ke. I'll be happy to answer your questions. With that said, thank you for taking this class. Please follow my teacher profile here on Skillshare, as it helps me build a QuantBuild channel. You will also be notified in case I post any new class.